We give thee thanks for the leadership that Dayton has given to this company over the years. And as he goes forth in his retirement, we ask that you be with Dayton and Francis, guide them and strengthen them with thy Holy Spirit. We give thee thanks for Dan and Joyce. And we ask that thy Spirit be with them as they go forth to guide this company and to lead us. And we ask that thy comfort and strength be with them. We thank you for this food. We thank you for the many employees of this company. And we ask that thy blessing be upon each family and each person represented here. Again, we thank you for this food and ask that thy blessing be upon it, that it might be used to go forth and strengthen us in thy service. We give thee all the praise and the glory. And we give thee thanks in the name of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. Amen.
Thank you, Jim. Some months ago, while the construction of this warehouse was underway, Dayton suggested that before we fill this warehouse up, that it'd be a good opportunity to get all of our people together for a little food and fellowship. Ordinarily, we don't have a place in our plant large enough to get our people together. So the idea was a good one and the time was right. So here we are tonight. I think the food was real good. I want to commend Ship's Barbecue for fixing it. I hope you enjoyed it and everyone is comfortably full. I'd like to thank Ed Thaxton, who was primarily responsible for getting the event together, but he had some help from Patty Hudson, Linda Northcutt, Pete Kaiser, Edwin Slater, John North, Larry McNeese, and many, many more. Why don't we give them a hand for fixing it for us. We have several guests tonight that local people and some from outside of Kilgore that I'd like to recognize. I'm not going to ask them to stand. I'm just going to call their name and we'll give them, recognize them in that way. Mr. Jack Bean, County Commissioner, and his wife. Mr. Randy Brogatti, President of First National Bank, and his wife. Mr. Joe Elliott, President of City National Bank, and his wife. Mr. Jimmy Earl Mankins, State Representative, and his wife. Mr. Dwayne White, City Manager of Kilgore, and his wife. Mr. Rex Whitten, City Commissioner of Kilgore and Executive Vice President of Kilgore Federal Savings and Loan. Mr. Wilbur Yates, President of Allied Citizens Bank. Mr. Harold Hobnick and his wife. Harold was the Assistant Treasurer at Kilgore Ceramics for 30-some-odd years. He was never an official member of the board, but we really imposed on him over the years because if he couldn't find Byron or Judd or Dayton, we had to go make Harold sign the checks. So, Frank Henderson of Tyler and his wife. Frank was Allied Engineering Division of Farrell Corporation, the company that built the 4 kilns down in the plant. Mary Meadows of Kilgore News Herald. Jack McLean, Trinity Ceramics in Dallas, one of our suppliers, but more important, Jack was an ex-employee of Kilgore Ceramics for a number of years. Always good to have him back in Kilgore. Mr. Mike Tucker with Transit Company in Longview. Transit Company is the one that erected this building. We think they did a very nice job. Very well satisfied with it. Last but not least, Mr. Travis Summerall and his wife, Kilgore Electric. Travis did the electrical work in here, and I guess most all of it down in the plant. And it's always comforting to know that Travis is around, because if the lights go out, we're going to call him quick. And that happens in the middle of the night quite often. I'd also like to recognize Bob McDonald, our salesman from Kansas City, John Stanley, our salesman from, John's from Kansas City and Bob's from New Orleans. I tell you, that'll cost me. Don't you ever think it won't. I'm going to hear the last of that for 10 years. We have another group tonight, sales reps, that I'd like to especially recognize. It's the Perkins Boys. In 1949, our product wasn't moving too well, so we heard about a fellow named Jack Perkins from Dallas. And Dayton hired him, and Mr. Perkins got the material moving. And they're what we call manufacturer's agents. They're not direct employees. They work on a commission basis. But Mr. Perkins was very instrumental in the early days in moving our product out. Later on, well, his two boys, Jack and Bud, worked with him. Mr. Perkins passed away several years ago, and now Jack's two sons, Mike and Steve Perkins, came into the business. So we've used up almost 3 generations of Perkins trying to move this stuff to Texas. We do have Jack and his wife, and their wives are with them, and Bud, Jack, and Mike live in Dallas, and Steve from San Antonio. Several other people were invited, but because of other commitments, were unable to attend. These people here play an important part in the community life in Kilgore, and we feel honored to have them with us. We felt that they would have a better understanding of what Kilgore Ceramics was all about if they could come out and spend a couple hours and sit down and break bread with us, and we thank you for coming. I'd also like to introduce people at the head table. On the right, Dayton Walkup, his wife Frances, Dayton's chairman of the board, and Judge Foster Dean and his wife Bobby, Edwin Slater, executive vice president, and his wife Billy, Pete Kaiser, vice president of sales, and his wife Dodie. On my left is my wife Joyce, Lester Ford, steel plant superintendent, and his wife Beth, Jerry Reaper, pottery plant superintendent, and his wife Betty. On the end, you've already heard from Jim Draper and his wife Peg. Jim is retired. He was followed Russ Claypool. Russ is out here in the audience. We'll introduce him in a minute. Jim followed Russ Claypool as plant superintendent of pottery. We have another group of people that I especially want to recognize. It's our retired employees. A good many of them came tonight. I want you people to stand up. We won't take a look at you. And you'll stand and remain standing until everyone's been introduced. I don't believe Orr Brame and his wife made it tonight, but we miss them. Russ Claypool and his wife, Jim Draper and his wife, John Dunnigan, Nolan Forson, his wife, Merle Gruber and his wife, Eddie Miles, his wife, Joe Moxon and his wife, Walter Procell and his wife, Carol Shores and his wife, Paul Sullivan and his wife, Claude Summerlin and his wife, Nelson Thompson and his wife, and Cecil Tollison. I want you to know it's good to have you with us, and it's nice to visit with you again. These people play a major role in building this country. And those of us who continue on appreciate their contribution. Let's give them a hand. For several years, we've been hampered by a higher than average turnover of employees. Many people would hire in, work a few weeks, a few months, move on to another job. I want you to know it's difficult to run a plant efficiently with a constant stream of new employees. It also creates a hardship on the nucleus of stable, long-time employees having to constantly work with inexperienced people. We're fortunate, though, to have a group of people who have been with the company for many years. And at this time, I'd like for all the people who have worked for Kilgore Ceramics for 30 years to stand up, and I want you to remain standing for a minute. All you 30-year people, get up. Wait a minute. Now I want all the 20-year people to join. Everybody's been here 20 years. Keep standing, Joe. All you 20-year people, get up. Now I want all the 10-year people to join. Everybody's been here 10 years. Stand up. Now these people really help us going with their dedication and experience. Very important to the successful operation of this plant. We appreciate you and thank you for your contribution. Let's give them a hand. Well, we got the 30-year, 20-year, and 10-year. Now I want to recognize the youngest employee at Kilgore Ceramics, Terry Close. Stand up, Terry. What'd you do with him, Ed? Terry went to work on November 10, 1983. Production started in this plant in July of 1949. That's 14 years before Terry was born. We hope that Terry will cast his lot with us and that he and the company can grow and prosper together. Terry, we hope you'll be here in 1993 to get your 10-year pin. I hope I'm still around to give it to him. It takes everyone from Terry Close, our newest employee, to Dayton Walkup, our oldest employee, to run this plant. To produce quality products that can be sold at a fair price for a reasonable profit. All of you people are important. All of you are necessary to make the wheels turn. You know, if you have a missing bearing, Julius, you're going to run that axle pretty soon. Our business has been good this year. We've kept everyone working pretty well all year. We've been much more fortunate than many companies in this area that have experienced heavy layoffs and short work weeks. We expect to have full employment through the winter months this year. This warehouse was built to give more space for finished goods. Every time we built a warehouse in the past, we filled it up with benches, casting benches, and production. We're going to try to keep this one open for finished goods. Hopefully, with this warehouse, we can keep our people working during periods of slow sales, accumulate product that we have available to sell when business picks up. In 1984, we plan to put in a new fuel-saving kiln. This kiln will eventually replace some of our old kilns. Other new equipment will be added and production will be increased. New products will be added to our line which will help sell the increased production. Kilgore Ceramics is moving ahead. We thank you people for your past efforts and ask for your continued help to maintain our progress. You know, everyone has a boss, and at this time I'd like to introduce my boss, our chairman of the board, Dayton Walkup, who's going to give you a little bit more information on Kilgore Ceramics. Dayton.
I just got a little scribbling down here, folks. I'm not going to say very much. I put together a few figures to kind of let some of our visitors here tonight, as well as our employees, share in the context of really what Kilgore Ceramics is doing and how it fits into the community from an economic standpoint. So let me give you a few figures. First, our employment figure right now shows that we have a total of 412 employees. In 1983, we project from now till the end of the year, we anticipate that our purchases in the local area, I'm talking about Kilgore, Longview, Tyler, and the things that we buy in this area, will total $5,173,000 this year. Electricity in 1983 will cost nearly $333,000. Natural gas to heat our buildings and fire our furnaces and kilns for the last 12 months total $968,441. Now, so much for the plant operation. Taxes. In the city of Kilgore, Kilgore Ceramics is the third largest taxpayer in the city. It's the seventh largest taxpayer in the Kilgore Independent School District. In city services, including water, sewer, and garbage, we pay the city $3,000 a month, or $36,000 a year for those services. In 1983, our capital expenditures will total $2,127,000. The 1984 budget calls for capital expenditures of $3,627,000. Production. China fixtures. At the moment, we are casting 4,000 pieces of china a day, or 20,000 pieces a week. In steel fixtures, we're producing equivalent pieces of 640 a day, or about 3,200 a week. These production figures are nearly 40% more than a year and a half ago. Health care claims. We, like everybody else, maintain hospitalization policies and health care benefits for our people. In 1983, the dollars that we will pay to local and area hospitals and doctors will total $252,000, or about $21,000 a month that we contribute into the healthcare industry in this area. And I guess one of the things that I'm as proud of as anybody could be is our employees' support for the United Fund or United Way campaign. Last year, employees contributed $5,313 and the company $1,825. And this year, the employee contributions totaled $5,577.50. And the company contributed $1,925, making a total of $7,502 from this company and its employees. The total budget for the United Fund is about $65,000 this year. So you people out there, along with some help from the company, are taking care of in excess of 10% of that total budget. And I think we ought to give all ourselves a hand. One other thing I think that we put in a little perspective is profit. Profit sometimes gets to be a dirty word if you listen to the right fellas on the television and the radio, but without profit we wouldn't be here tonight. But so many people think that you can ask people, how much profit do you make? And you read in the papers that the response from a lot of people now, you make 20% or 30% or 40%, just isn't true. Companies like ours keep about $5 in profit for every $100 of sales. So that's about 5%. Now out of that $5, we have to finance the capital expansion program such as this building. We use the money to improve wages and employee benefits and to provide some modest dividends for the people who own the plant. So you can see just a small change in that profit picture can have a tremendous effect one way or the other on the operation of this place. And Stan pointed out what makes it go. What keeps us making that 5% or that $5 out of every 100 is the efficiency and the dependability and the reliability and the innovative ideas of of our employees and the people that make it go. So again, and to add to what Dan's thinking, I want to express my thanks to the personal commitment of everybody here and for your devotion to the company and the support of its purposes. And I just hope we keep on growing to be bigger and bigger. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dayton. Well, I want to tell my, I was going to tell my jokes, but it looked like they censored my speech. I don't know whether it was George or Patty. One of them did. Oh, well, they weren't funny anyway. The only thing I know that ties in with this day, I don't know whether you know it or not, but this is Mickey Mouse's 55th birthday. So that's the only thing I know that happened on November 18th, other than we were kind of roasting Walkup a little bit. But you didn't know that Mickey Mouse almost old as you, did you, Dave? On a more serious vein, I want to recognize some more folks out here tonight, and they're the members of our original board of directors. These men were here when I got here, and I think they started in 1948. I didn't get here in 1949 myself. But, I want to introduce them and their wives. I'd like for them to stand. We might even give them a hand. Lester Barton and his wife, Judge Foster Bean and his wife, Byron Brunstead and his wife, John T. Krim Jr. and his wife, Don Kerr and his wife, Bill Ezell and his wife. We got three that were not able to come tonight: Bob Kimmel, Paul Branch, and Charles Duvall. And I'd also like to remember Scott Lucas, J.J. Jenkins, Ralph Oaks, and Dr. D.C. Simmons, directors who passed away. These men signed notes personally. I mean, they had to kind of put up their credit for this company back in the early days. They gave her their time, their professional advice, provided leadership over the years. Their efforts are appreciated, and we're delighted they could be with us tonight. I left Dayton out. Well, he was on the original board. I'm sorry, Dayton, Francis, but let's give him a hand. I'm going to recognize our oldest employee now. Dayton plans to retire November 30th. I really don't know why he's retiring. He's still full of vim, vigor, and vitality. As usual, he is enthusiastic and continues to be an eternal optimist. Over the years, he has provided competent leadership for this company. He's my personal friend. I respect his judgment, admire his warm, open personality, his concern for his fellow man, his good moral character. He deserves to be called Mr. Kilgore Ceramics. As I said earlier, everyone has a boss, and Dayton Walkup is no exception. Dayton reports to his wife, Frances. Frances, we know the problems of Kilgore Ceramics have interrupted your life many times over the past 35 years. You had your daughter Patricia, your son Lee, and your husband Dayton, and Kilgore Ceramics that you had to raise and look after over the years. I know that Frances must have wondered many times. I'd call and say, what has happened now? When I'd call on the phone and say, Frances, is Dayton there? Thank you for being so patient and understanding with us all these years. You know, though, Frances, there's an old saying that with Dayton retiring, you're going to have twice the husband and half the pay. In 1982, the stockholders of Kilgore Ceramics sold their shares of stock to Armington Shanks, the leading plumbing fixture manufacturer in England. Our relations with the new owner have been excellent. Of course, Dayton has played the leading role at Kilgore in getting things started off on the right foot with England. One of the first projects that took place after we sold out was to install a telex for fast communications, and we use it. The officers of Armitage Shanks were in Kilgore in October, and one of them will be back in January, but none of them could be here tonight. However, today I received a telex from Kenneth Shanks, the chairman of Armitage Shanks, that I would like to read. Attention, Mr. Dan Ballinger. Would be very grateful if you could read out the following message at your barbecue supper in honor of Dayton. My colleagues and I at Armitage Shanks would like to send to Dayton Walkup our greetings and very best wishes for a long and happy retirement. Although we have only been privileged to know him a relatively short time, we have all quickly appreciated his many great qualities and the great contribution he has made both to Kilgore Ceramics and to Kilgore itself over all the many years since he founded the company. Sincerely, Kenneth Shanks. Well, we got one more fellow we're going to ask to say a few words. Judge Foster Bean was one of the original directors and a vice president of Kilgore Ceramics for 34 years. Judge?
Dan, I believe that when you put on the tax rolls next year, you might be the second largest taxpayer in the city.
I knew he shouldn't have given out those figures.
I don't know what I can add to the accolades that have already been bestowed on our honored guest tonight, but we are saluting a man who has had, for his young in years, a most long and varied career. His contributions to our area and our city have been so numerous that I would not have time to enumerate them if I were allotted an hour's time on this platform. Try to start with Dayton's career after he got out of school. I believe he went to school at Shrine Institute and the University of Texas. And then his family owned, at that time, the American Supply Company in Kilgore, which dealt in oil field materials. So Dayton, in order to learn something about the business and learn something about the product he was selling, he went to Pennsylvania and worked on the steel mill. Then he came to Kilgore, I believe in 1939, and became president of American Supply Company in 1943. In his business, he finally took on the plumbing supplies, and he decided that that was such a good business that he helped organize a company that would make them. So that, in 1938, Kilgore Ceramics Corporation, manufactured plumbing supplies, was born. As I said, it would take a long time to record some of his accomplishments. I believe he's been president of practically every organization in Kilgore. In addition to being president of American Supply Company and Kilgore Ceramics Corporation, he started out as president of the Junior Chamber of Commerce. He was president of the Girl Scouts Council of Kilgore. He was president of the Roy H. Laird Memorial Hospital Board. He was president of the Junior Chamber of Commerce, the Kilgore Chamber of Commerce, and the Lions Club. Also president of the Board of Trustees of Kilgore Junior College. I can't think of anything else that he could have been president of. In addition to that, he has served his community as a city commissioner on the city council. He has served as the director of the Texas Law Enforcement Foundation and the American Petroleum Institute, University of Texas Health Center in Tyler, Gregg County Mental Health and Retardation Center. And he was a leader and organizing Little League Baseball in Kilgore. During the World War II, he was in the Army Corps of Engineers. In 1948, he was made an Outstanding Young Man of the Year by the Kilgore JCs. In 1952, he was one of Texas' 5 most outstanding young men, an honor bestowed upon him by the Union Chamber of Commerce of the state of Texas. In 1956, he was named Man of the Year for the city of Kilgore. Dayton is a man who is not easily discouraged. Setbacks do not faze him. When he makes up his mind as to a course to pursue, he is not swayed, but acts with vigor and determination to attain the goal he has set. The success of this company, Kilgore Ceramics Corporation, is most indicative of the ability and determination of this man. As you were told a little while ago, we had some dark days at the beginning, and Dayton's name was the top endorser of that note. But now the stockholders of Kilgore Ceramics Corporation are indebted to him for 35 years of active and capable leadership. The people of the city of Kilgore, the citizens of this area, and in fact all of East Texas have received many benefits by reason of the civic mindedness and the untiring work and efforts and the ability, and will always owe him a debt of gratitude. During his tenure as president of this corporation, our area has prospered economically, and the city of Kilgore especially, by reason of the Kilgore Ceramics Corporation business. The corporation has provided employment for many people. The stockholders have received good dividends. The payroll, as you've been told, has found its way in many places. He has earned a good retirement, but we know he will not retire as a citizen who is proud of his city. We know that he will always be willing to answer the call of any worthwhile project that will be worthy of our city. Good luck and congratulations, Dayton Walkup.
Thank you.
Well, one thing Judge didn't tell you, the year Dayton was one of the 10 outstanding young men in Texas. That was the same year Billy Saul Estes was. I don't know whether and Billy Saul got out yesterday and Dayton's fixing to retire. I don't know. I went out and trying to get some of this background information on Dayton together, and Mary Meta helped me down at the newspaper. She brought a stack of material about that high out, you know, and I said, Mary, I said, it's bound to be enough in here to send him to the penitentiary, you know. Well, enough of this serious talk. Pete Kaiser, our Vice President of Sales, wants to make a few remarks. Wake up, Pete.
Agree with you. Probably some of you are wondering why they called on me to say a few words. Dan came in the office, I think it was yesterday morning, maybe the morning before, and said, well, he said, Pete, I think Francis and what's his name is going to retire. And he said, you know, it'd probably be a nice thing if we got, what's his name, you know, some little gift to show our appreciation from the people and from the company. And I said, well, Dayton, or Dan, do you have anything, you know, in mind? In the past, we've always given safes where people can keep their retirement papers and money and everything. And Dan said, well, you know, a safe really wouldn't be good for Dayton since he's already got 4 of them. One at Allied Citizens, one at Kilgore First National, City National, and Kilgore Federal. Was this fellow need with another safe? So we got to, you know, and I asked Dan, I said, well, why did you pick me to, you know, pick out some kind of a gift? And he said, well, Pete, he said, you've been hiding little things on your expense account for a long time, and we've never been able to find them. Maybe you can get by with this one, too. we, of course, thought about the safe and tried to think about all kinds of things. Dan said, well, what about some kind of a world cruise or something? Well, you know, for a long time I've tried to, or thought I'd like to tell Dayton where to go, but, you know, a world cruise never once entered my mind. Anyhow, we got to talking to some of Dayton's buddies and cronies and asked them what Dayton might enjoy. And a couple of them pointed out that Dayton's golf clubs were getting pretty old and shabby, and they were getting a little embarrassed to play with him. It wasn't so bad, his game looked terrible, but his equipment was getting really old too. So we decided to, from Kilgore Ceramics and its employees, we wanted to give you, Dayton and Francis, this set of golf clubs, which will keep Dayton out on the course. And if you look in the bag, there's also a umbrella, so that if he tells you it's raining, he can still go out and play. Hey, we'd like to spread it. And we got them in Kilgore green, too. Kilgore green, green and white. And Francis, a little something here too. It's not much, but Dayton, you might hold on to this. We know it's going to be tough. So, you know, we got you these eye folders. Now you can either wear them or put them on Dayton in the morning. And here's some earplugs too. And, so anytime you want to take instant retirement, you can. You can shut him off just like that.
Thank you.
Okay, Dayton, now's your chance for rebuttal.
Well, I wasn't planning on getting a beautiful gift like that. When it comes time to respond to a gift and retirement, there's hardly anything left to say unless you stay up here for the rest of the night and start thanking everybody for all they've done for you through these years. And I could do that for hours, and I'm not going to stand here and do that. Just to say thank everybody for a wonderful time. I'm looking forward to the retirement, and I'm not going to Florida. I'm going to stay right here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dayton. We look forward to you continuing to serve as chairman of the board of our company and to remain on our board of directors. Your advice and counsel will continue to be very helpful. Well, it's time for a little audience participation now. Ed Thaxton, our personnel director, will come forward. I think he has a few door prizes he wants to present.
I'm going to need to do this over, over here because I'm going to need some help. I want to read off the prizes in the order that we're going to draw for them so they won't get mixed up as to who won what. The first prize is a color TV 19-inch Emerson brand. The second prize is a Canon 35mm completely automatic camera. The third prize is a Sears AM/FM cassette recorder. The fourth prize is a GE roaster toaster oven. Fifth prize is an AM radio with snooze alarm. So we'll go for the TV. Anita, come here. One thing I want to explain, there's some tickets in here with names on them, and those people are working right now. And if we draw that ticket, they will get the prize. Otherwise, you have to be here to win. Now stir them up, Renita. Don't look in there. Look over here. Keep draw your own. All right, go on out. Number 8.
Not fixed, I promise.
You got it? Bring it here. I'll say it again just in case you didn't care. Linda has been in the accounting department over 20 years. So I for one, don't begrudge her this TV set. Okay. We'll get it. Look for it. Okay? This man is working. This man is working. Darren Malden. He's working on the kill right now. Canon 35mm camera. Wait a minute, we don't want to get mixed up. Just a minute. The number was 832. The number was 832. The one with the name on it. Yeah, look away. This drawing is for the Sears AM/FM cassette recorder player. Number 685. I see a hand up back there. You got to come up here. Number 685. This is Willie Sibley. How long you been with us? 13 years, so. The next drawing will be for the GE Roaster Toaster Oven. Benita's gonna win that. This one also has a name on it, number 749. Steve Rickard, he's an electrician working in the plant tonight. And that's the Roaster Toaster Oven. Okay, and the last one is the AM/FM radio snooze alarm. Number 916. 916. Somebody standing up? You gotta walk faster. That's the right number. This is Jimmy Sanders. He's a caster. He makes 108 bowls. How long you been with us, Jimmy? 10-year man. Thank you.
Well, this concludes our program. We enjoyed having each and every one of you with us. We thank you for coming. Feel free to stay and visit if you like. We wish you a happy holiday season and a safe trip home. Good night.